Welcome to the Sports Minute. If you like the video this evening, please comment and share. Please subscribe to my YouTube page, turning 560 here on YouTube. 2026 NFL Draft Prospect Carson Beck out of the University of Miami. Let me talk about Mr. Carson Beck. I got a lot of respect for the man at 6'4", 220 pounds. And I think he's got the biggest game of his life coming up, going against obviously the number one player that's going to be taken into 2026 NFL draft. But you know what? If Mr. Beck has a good game on Monday night coming up, he can really make him some money and really move up in the draft. I'm talking about right now, if you look at some of the draft boards that got him as a third round pick, have a great game on Monday night, make all the throws that I know you can make, Mr. Beck. You can probably move up into the second round or at the end of the first round. I think he's a very special talent. But I followed his career very closely because I live here in Douglasville, Georgia, and I'm 30 minutes from downtown Atlanta, and I'm around a lot of Georgia Bulldog fans. As you see, I'm wearing a Georgia Bulldog hat this evening. Young man came in highly recruited at the University of Georgia. Had to sit, I think, excuse me, let me back. I think he was redshirted his first year. Then he sat behind a guy that won two national championships in Stetson Bennett. But clearly he was more talented than Stetson Bennett. So when he got his chance, you saw what the Dogs did. They went 13-1 his first year as the starter. He had 3,941 yards passing, and he had 28 touchdowns that year and 12 interceptions. And basically, everybody was saying, let me back up. That was his second year as a starter. But his first year in 2023, he had 3,941 yards. I don't know how many touchdowns. I thought they had that written out. But Georgia went 13-1 and they beat Florida State in the Orange Bowl 63-3. Then coming back in his junior year, allegedly his last year at Georgia, because a lot of people had him as the number one quarterback going into the 2025 NFL draft. Well, 28 touchdowns, 12 INTs, which was a high number. But most of all, if you go back to that season, there's receivers dropped a lot of balls at the University of Georgia. You can go back and look at the tape. And most of all, he had this seriously, I want to say, elbow injury in the SEC championship game and couldn't play in the next game as Georgia advanced and won the SEC championship and played Texas. What really bothered me was how the Georgia fans really kicked him to the curb and turned their back on him. I'm just keeping it out there. Simply because the young man was driving around campus in a Lamborghini. And you know how it is. They love you when you're on top. But when you have some adversity, they kick you to the curve. Excuse me. I said turd, but I mean curve. Then he ends up at the University of Miami, which shocked me a little bit. I said, he's going to a program that's had a lot of swag. He's going to a program that the head coach needs to win big this year. And they got a talented roster to get to the game there at the national championship game. This year he had 3,581 yards passing, 29 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. But what worried me about him coming into these playoffs, the two games that Miami lost, he threw four interceptions against Louisville, and he threw two interceptions against SMU. So he had six interceptions in two of the biggest games on Miami's football schedule. But he did play well against Notre Dame in opening game, and that's why Miami got into the playoffs. But I didn't see Miami going through the gauntlet of what they went through. And he's been the quarterback under center, going to Texas A&M, winning 10-3. Even though the offense really didn't do a lot, and some people say from a passing game, but he was on the center, and they went in and beat Texas A&M against Ohio State. A lot of people didn't have them beating Ohio State. I think Ohio State was like a 6-point favorite. He played very well in that football game, and it defeated Ohio State. Make no mistake against Ole Miss in the semifinals. Some throws and plays he made with his legs, Miami doesn't win that football game at all. So Carson Beck now is on the biggest stage over three real good football teams, and Miami's earned their way. So kudos, but it's a lot of money on the table for the young man on Monday night. Let me talk about his skill set. He's a very experienced football player. He's played a lot of football, A plus. He can throw the ball at every level of the field, A plus. He can avoid pressure in the pocket, A plus. I really feel like if he plays in an up tempo rhythm type offense that's quick and running play after play, he's going to be a real good football player. I give him an A plus. The size, A plus. The arm, A plus. Quick release, A plus. The only question about him is the decision making. As I mentioned, he had 4 interceptions against Louisville. High level game manager, A plus. You put him around some talent and tell him what to do, he's going to play at a high level. He's done that both at Georgia and Miami. Good pocket mobility, as I just mentioned, A plus, and you gotta give it to him. Hey man, he's here on the national stage, and if I'm an NFL GM, I'm looking at all the adversity this young man has came through, and he's got his team in a championship game. And I think at the next level, I think he's a kid that's going to come in, he's going to work. But think about this. I'm looking at the 2 programs that he's playing at. Georgia right now is one of the top 3 programs in the country. And Miami, the history, the players that's been there, Kozak, Michael Irvin, Warren Sapp, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, Jerome Brown, Russell Maryland, Will Ford, Sean Taylor, Ed Reed, Jeremy Shockley, Clinton Portis, Edrin James, Ray Lewis, Eddie Brown. The list goes on and on. And that tells me he's got some respect, he's got some toughness, and he can bounce back from adversity. So that's my profile tonight on Carson Beck. And good luck in Monday night's game, young man. I'm pulling for you. If you like the video this evening, please comment and share. Please subscribe to my YouTube page, Vincent Turner 2020. Excuse me, 560 here on YouTube. I'm thinking about 2026 NFL draft prospect. Carson Beck, to you, baby. He's a very good football player.